Today, I'll be ranking every battle pass in the game. Perhaps I should clarify. I mean in Brawlhalla, not in a game like Fortnite, otherwise we might be here a while. Now, in Brawlhalla, there's been 8 seasons of battle passes, with the 8th one going on currently, so I'll be doing an actual ranking instead of a tier list since it's short enough to do a real ranking. And just for some quick clarification, no, I will not be counting the retro passes as their own season. I'm only be counting the original season 1 and 2 battle passes. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about the worst battle pass, enter the FANGWILD. Out of all the battle passes that Brawlhalla has released, this is certainly one of them. Okay, moving on. Okay, in all seriousness, the Season 6 battle pass was really not the best. I'll start with the positives though. The Tier 85 Ember skin is really cool, and even though I never play Ember, I regret not finishing the battle pass because of it. However, I did manage to get this Dusk skin, which, even though it reminds me of this Koji skin way too much, I still really like it. Let's see here. Oh, this taunt is really funny, and also pretty toxic, but I like it overall. The avatars are cool. Okay, I'm running out of things to talk about here. Let's kick off the bad by talking about this Tier 1 skin. Why does he look so dry? I mean, I know this is the first stage and all, but seriously, someone get this man some chapstick. Admittedly, the skin becomes much cooler in its later 2 stages, but the progression makes no sense. Like in the first stage, he looks like he's trying to mimic Dry Bones from Super Mario. In the second stage, he looks perfectly normal and healthy, and then in the third stage, it's like a mix. He's like kinda dry. What kind of progression is that? Then we have the other 2 skins I haven't talked about yet, which they're both terrible. I don't know why anyone would use either of these, and I haven't seen anyone use either of these, which is a great call because they're both hideous. The Scarlet skin is made even worse by the emoji that comes with it. Seriously, what is with that lifeless expression? Ugh. But as for the rest of the battle pass, everything is just boring. Like this color scheme, for example. It just looks bland. I don't want to say it looks ugly, because that's a descriptor for a different color scheme we'll look at in a second. But it just doesn't really catch the eye, you know? Same thing with these taunts. Excluding the one with the potted plant, that one's hilarious. But the rest of them are peaceful. And as we all know, peaceful does not fit the Brawlhalla narrative. Overall, the Enter the FANGWILD battle pass isn't really that bad. In fact, I don't think any of the battle passes are bad in the traditional sense. But compared to the rest of them, this one's just boring, and therefore it gets the lowest spot. Alright, next up in 7th place is fittingly the Season 7 battle pass, Brawlhalla Quest. Valhalla Quest had a lot of different ideas going in many different directions. In some areas, it excelled, and in others, not so much. To start with the good, I really like both the Tier 1 and Tier 85 skin. Although in a surprising twist, the first stage of the Tier 1 skin is actually the best, at least in my opinion. Speaking of Tier 1, the podium is very unique. Instead of just improving upon a similar looking podium in all 3 stages, the scenery looks vastly different on all 3 stages for this one. This is the part that Valhalla Quest does perfectly as far as bridging a bunch of ideas together. This battle pass was also the first to introduce randomized taunts, which I think is a brilliant idea and I really hope to see that expanded upon in later battle passes. Actually, scratch that last part. Not just for battle passes, but for all taunts. Here's a great example, the rock paper scissors taunts. They've been around for years, and yet nobody is buying them. And that should come as no surprise, because it takes up 3 separate taunt slots, and nobody in their right mind is doing that. I mean, unless you want to play rock, paper, scissors, but you only have one option. But that's not even rock, paper, scissors, that's just rock, rock, rock. Anyways, I'm getting way too sidetracked. The last thing I want to say for the good part is that the sidekicks and avatars are really well made. Especially Goob. Cause like, come on. Isn't he just the cutest slime skeleton thing you've ever seen? Probably. Okay, now that we've gotten to the bad section, I just want to get this off my chest real quick. BMG, respectfully, what the f*** is that color scheme? Whew, okay, alright, I'm all good now. The other 3 skins available in the battle pass are okay, but nothing to write home about. The weapon skins are all pretty mid. I mean, it's just some metal weapons with some molten lava on the end, or whatever you want to call that. So yeah, not really the coolest. And honestly, that's all the bad I had to say about it. You might have noticed that there was a lot more good compared to the bad, so why is it so far down the list? Well, the color scheme is really just that bad. It dragged it down that much. But now, let's move on to our next battle pass, Season 3, Jotun Winter. This is the first of the earlier passes to be on this list, which actually surprised me, because I always considered the first 4 battle passes to be way superior to the last 4. But after giving it some further examination for this video, I've decided that Jotun Winter is just not as good as I thought it was. Don't get me wrong, there are some absolutely amazing things about this battle pass, especially the tier 85 Bryn skin. I am still very sad I didn't get it the first time around, and will make sure to get it during the rerun. I also really like the color scheme. Sure, it's not the most vibrant out there, but hey, it's a lot better than some color schemes that tried to be vibrant. Also, the loading frame and the UI theme are easily the best out of any battle pass we've seen so far. Something about that golden color and the little galaxy wing that's coming out of it, it's just perfect. Lastly, I think it's hilarious that the Thor skin looks so similar to Thor in the Marvel movies. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but I can't be the only one that sees it, right? Despite all that I've said, I do have some fair criticisms for this battle pass. First of all, if they think that I'm pronouncing these words, they've lost their minds. Seriously, like, what does that even say? Jarwumgander? I don't even know. I probably just said a slur or something. I apologize if I did, but seriously, I am not pronouncing that. There's also the fact that the skin itself is really just not that good. But my biggest issue with this battle pass is the weapon skins. What are these? These are like modern art catastrophes. Like, look at this spear skin, for example. It looks like they tried to combine a greatsword and a spear together. And before you ask, no, the greatsword skin is not much better. Like, look at that. What is that supposed to be? Listen, I'm all for uniqueness, but this is just too unique, if you know what I mean. The rest of the items are all relatively good and on theme, but nothing too crazy. In sum, Jotun Winter was a pretty good battle pass. It had some really high highs, but some pretty low lows. So overall, it gets 6th place. Now, it's time to move on to our 5th place spot with our 5th battle pass, Galactic War. Since this entire theme is based around the fight between Artemis and Orion, they are fittingly the first and last skins of the battle pass, which I think is a really nice touch. Not to mention, the skins themselves are pretty cool. Just like the Season 3 battle pass color scheme, this color scheme is pretty low-key, not very vibrant, but like I said, that's not always a bad thing, and I like this one. The taunts are all pretty good, but the best one for me is the Stock Gazing. I think that's an amazing name, and it's also pretty toxic. The Ada and Onyx skins do a really good job of fitting the theme, and as of this moment, I use both of their skins respectively. And lastly, this sidekick is absolutely golden. He looks like a crossover between Lord Vrax and Megamind. In fact, this resemblance is pushed even further by the fact that this battle pass has a skin with a glass bowl on its head, just like Megamind's sidekick. Oh, right. This skin. This Fate skin is absolutely abhorrent. I don't think there's a single person on this earth that's sane that can say that this skin looks good. And if you do, you're either 1, lying just to spite me, or 2, you just don't have eyes. In which case, that's probably a good thing, because you're being saved from looking at this atrocity. Then we have the weapon skins. When it first came out, I actually liked these, but looking back on them now, they look like cheap plastic Walmart toys that you buy for $15 back in the day and would break on you from one drop. Lastly, I want to talk about these avatars. Now, I'm not going to say they look bad, because they most definitely don't. However, they're all very similar, and honestly, there's just not enough variety to justify how many of them there are in this battle pass. Overall, the Galactic Wars battle pass theme was really awesome, and they executed the idea very well. However, it did have some weak points, and that's why it landed in the 5th place spot. We are now at our halfway point, and starting off our second half is the Season 4 battle pass, Order of the Exalted Lion. As you can probably imagine, the Order of the Exalted Lion battle pass has a lot of lion-themed stuff in it. But first, let's talk about something non-lion themed, which is the tier 1 skin, Octavius Mordex. Guys, this is him! The guy! This is the Mordex. Like, in the lore, this is what Mordex comes from. So on one hand, all of you Mordex players should be bowing down in front of this guy like a demigod. On the other hand, all you Mordex haters should be burning him at the stake. I didn't mean to say demigod, but now that I used it, I'm thinking of the Moana song. And it actually fits perfectly here.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Huh?
Anyways, the skin itself is really good. And same with the Tier 85 Diana skin. I will admit that it's a bit weaker than some of the other Tier 85s, but that doesn't mean it's not good. The color scheme is absolutely amazing, and I find myself using it for quite a few skins. The sidekicks have been good for all the battle passes so far, but I just want to stress how good they are in this one. Like, especially this final one, that looks legendary. I also haven't mentioned any of the kill effects for any of the battle passes so far, but I do want to mention this one because it looks really cool and I wish I had it. But of course, no battle pass is without its negatives, and this one has a couple. For the other 3 skins of this battle pass, they're okay, but I can't really say I'm a fan of the EXALTED skin. There's just too much going on, very messy. Also, I know it feels like I've been trashing on all the weapons for every single battle pass, but I really have no choice because these ones aren't good either. It looks like the center of the weapons are made out of glass, which I don't think that's gonna pan out very well in a real fight. And lastly, besides the Gravedigger and the Full Moon's Howl, none of these taunts are very good. Especially the Order Salute. Like, don't tell me I'm wrong when I say this looks like a pose that the Power Rangers would strike. Or for you Dragon Ball Z fans, the Ginyu Force. All in all, the Order of the Exalted Lion Battle Pass is very solid and just falls short to 3 other Battle Passes. Speaking of which, let's get to those. In our 3rd place spot, we have the most recent Battle Pass, the Season 8 Terminus. Now, I have to hand it to BMG. When I saw Season 6 and 7, I did not like the direction that Battle Passes were going, and I assumed that Season 8 would be even worse. But somehow, they by far exceeded my expectations here. Before I talk about the contents of the Battle Pass, I just want to say that it's really cool that they're taking the theme and story of the Battle Pass and expanding it to other parts of the game. Over the past few days, official Brawlhalla accounts have been posting videos that link directly to the Battle Pass and to the lore of the new legend. This has spawned a huge wave of theorizing throughout the community, as people believe it's going to be Loki as the new legend. But either way, this type of hype is amazing for the game, and I'm glad that BMG is taking the time to make something like this for the players. But anyways, back to the Battle Pass itself. The Tier 1 Tezuka skin is easily the best Tier 1 skin out of any Battle Pass so far, especially the final stage. The drip that you can make with this skin in certain colors is off the charts. The color scheme is also very good. In fact, I would say that it's the 2nd best color scheme out of any of the Battle Passes. I think the taunts are really well done in this Battle Pass, especially the wall tag one. I love any taunt that incorporates the player avatar, and this one does it perfectly. That's just one more chance for me to show off my Brawl League avatar, hashtag not sponsored. The 3 skins in the middle of the Battle Pass are very well designed and fit the theme to a T. Lastly, the sidekicks and avatars tie in perfectly to the lore, especially this one. This looks an absolute beast of a sidekick. But as we move into the bad part of the Battle Pass, I think I need to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I believe that the Tier 85 skin is a bad part of the Battle Pass. Even though I'm not crazy for a few of the other Tier 85 skins, they still look good. This one, on the other hand, is just straight ugly. The colors do not blend well, and honestly, I feel like they're just trying too hard to make this look cool. Then, as you probably expected, we have the weapon skins. Although, I don't hate them as much as some of the other ones we've gone over previously, but still, not the best. And lastly, we have the emoji skins. I think the Tezuka one is pretty good, but that's about all the praise I can give them. All the others look like great value budget versions of their actual characters. And yes, I'm aware that that's how it technically is for all of them, since it's full skins compared to emoji skins, but come on. Look at this one. Petra looks like a dude in this one. Overall, this is a surprisingly great battle pass, and I am praying that BMG can keep this consistency for Season 9. Anyways, it's time to declare our runner-up entry for this list. Our second place goes to the Season 2 Battle Pass, SYNTHWAVE. Out of all the Battle Pass themes, this one has to be my favorite. I love the Synthwave aesthetic and all the things surrounding that. The Tier 1 skin has a very nice progression, and I love the way it turns out. On the other hand, the Tier 85 Nyx skin is one of the best Nyx skins to ever be released, and I still use it to this day. The color scheme for this battle pass is definitely good, but it can only go on specific skins or legends, otherwise it just doesn't look good. I love each and every one of the taunts in this battle pass, but hands down, the best one is the Neon Drive. I mean, just absolutely stunning. Not to mention how ridiculous it looks when you glitch it out. The Yumiko skin in the middle of the battle pass is very cute, and I love the ears it gives with the headphones she's wearing. The kill effect looks very nice, not to mention that it's named very cleverly, being digital_breakdown WAV. And lastly, I really like all the sidekicks and how well they fit the theme. But of course, I do have a few criticisms. As a shock to absolutely nobody, the weapon skins are not very good in my opinion. However, I will admit that I do like the cannon and the orb, but other than that, not their best work. The other two skins in the middle of the battle pass, being the Isaiah and Ember skins, are very bizarre looking, to say the least. I can appreciate that they're staying on theme, but not the best blend of colors, that's for sure. And lastly, I don't really like the border or the UI theme. I feel like they're kind of bland, or at least compared to the other ones they are. In the end, the SYNTHWAVE Battle Pass was absolutely amazing, and it's just barely outclassed by one other Battle Pass. The original, the OG, Season 1, Demon Island. Or at least that's what I think it's called. I mean, it doesn't really have an official name, but that's as close as we're gonna get, so yeah. Wow. This Battle Pass is damn near perfect. Not perfect, but very, very close. Honestly, I might as well just get the bad part out of the way, which is this Zariel skin. It's absolutely hideous. But at the end of the day, it's Zariel, so who really cares? I already know there's gonna be that one Zariel main in the comments that's gonna get upset over that, but come on dude, you probably sig spam, so just get over it. Besides that one hiccup, everything else in this battle pass is stunningly good. The tier 1 Petra skin absolutely encapsulates the word demon. I mean, look at that. I would not want to see that in my room at 3 AM. This battle pass's color scheme is easily the best out of all the rest, and honestly, it's probably top 5 best color schemes ever, but we'll get more into that when I make a tier list of all the color schemes. And now, I can finally say something good about the weapon skins. The weapon skins have unique designs, but not too unique, and they fit the theme very, very well. The Artemis and Jiro skins also look very demonic. I'm not the biggest fan of the Artemis skin, but I'll let it slide since the Zariel skin exists. Of course, we can't forget the podium, sidekicks, avatars, border, UI theme, and taunts. They all look amazing and are very, very good. I feel like half of this video is just me saying very, very good. I'm sorry if my vocabulary is a little bit limited on this one. I don't know what else to say. And lastly, we have the Tier 85 Hattori skin. This skin is absolutely sexy. There's no other way to describe it. It is just amazing. It's easily the best Tier 85 skin, and I don't think any Tier 85 skin is topping this ever, in all honesty. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the tier list for all the battle passes currently in Brawlhalla. Obviously, I wasn't able to cover every single item in every single battle pass, because if I did, this would quite frankly be the longest YouTube video ever made, but I think I did a fair enough job describing why I felt the way I did about each battle pass. But of course, if you have a differing opinion, go ahead and comment down below and let me know what you think. But at the end of the day, no matter what your opinion on what the best or worst battle passes are, one thing is for certain. Pact of Poison looks like puke. Thank you.